My boss told everyone I got promoted because I slept with him. I smiled, said nothing, and started recording every meeting. 3 months later, his wife got a very interesting email. I'd been at the company for 4 years when I finally made senior analyst, earned it through late nights and brutal project deadlines. I'd rebuilt our entire client database system, trained 3 new hires, and brought in 2 major accounts that saved the department when we were bleeding revenue. But apparently, that wasn't the story going around the office. First hint was my coworker Ashley giving me the cold shoulder at the coffee machine. We used to grab lunch every Thursday, but suddenly she was always busy. Then I overheard 2 guys from accounting in the break room laughing about how I worked my way up the corporate ladder on my back. When I walked in, they went silent and scattered like roaches. I confronted my boss Tom the next day in his office, asked him point blank if he'd heard the rumors. He leaned back in his chair, hands behind his head, looking genuinely confused. People are always going to be jealous when someone succeeds, he said with this patronizing smile. You just need thicker skin. Don't let it get to you. I wanted to believe him. I really did. But then came the quarterly meeting 2 weeks later. Tom was presenting the department's achievements to the entire company. About 60 people crammed into the conference room. When he got to my promotion, he paused for effect and said, "Some people have special skills that help them advance faster than others." The room erupted in laughter while everyone turned to look at me. Tom caught my eye and smirked. That's when I knew he'd started the rumor himself. Maybe to undermine my credibility, maybe because he enjoyed the power, or maybe he was just that insecure about having a woman on his team who was better at the job than he was. So I went on Amazon that night and bought a recording pen for $35. It looked like a regular ballpoint pen, but had 8 hours of recording capacity. I clipped it to my shirt pocket every single morning and recorded every interaction, every meeting, every comment Tom made about my appearance or how I should appreciate his mentorship and remember who gave me this opportunity. I documented everything. The way he'd stand too close when reviewing my work, his comments about my outfits, the time he suggested I'd get better client responses if I wore my hair down instead of up, every inappropriate joke, every dismissive remark, every moment where he took credit for my ideas in front of senior leadership. But I didn't stop there. I also started documenting his actual job performance, or lack thereof. I kept records of the major client he lost because he showed up to their presentation hungover and fumbling through slides I'd prepared, the 3 deadlines he missed that I had to cover for by working weekends, the presentations I wrote that he delivered word for word while I sat in the back of the room watching him get applause for my work. I documented the intern Sarah he screamed at until she cried because she'd used the wrong font in a report. She quit 2 days later, and Tom told HR she couldn't handle the pressure of a real workplace. I got Sarah's written account of what actually happened. I tracked every expense report where he charged personal dinners as client meetings. Every afternoon he left early to play golf while the rest of us stayed until 8. Every lie he told to cover his mistakes. 3 months of evidence, dozens of recordings, time-stamped documents, email threads, witness statements from other team members who were tired of his behavior. I compiled everything into one organized file with a detailed index and executive summary, made it impossible to ignore or dismiss. Then I found Tom's emergency contact form in the shared drive. His wife Jessica's email was right there, along with her phone number. I crafted a professional email explaining that she deserved to know what her husband was doing at work, attached the complete evidence file, and sent copies to HR, the executive team, the CEO, and Jessica. I sent it on a Friday evening at 6 p.m., right after Tom left for his weekend golf trip. Then I turned off my phone and went to see a movie. When I finally checked my messages Saturday morning, I had 43 missed calls and twice as many texts. Tom had called me 17 times starting at midnight, his voicemails progressing from confused to angry to desperate, begging me to tell everyone I was lying, to say I'd fabricated everything, offering me money, offering me his job, anything to make it stop. But by then, his wife had already forwarded my email to his entire family, his college friends, and every member of the company board with a message explaining exactly what kind of man she'd been married to. He was fired Monday morning before he even made it to his office, security escorting him out, with a box of his belongings while the whole floor watched in silence.